Spawn is a 1997 American superhero film that follows Al Simmons, U.S. super secret soldier that is betrayed by his boss and turned over to the devil, where he will lead the devil's army, but he doesn't. He becomes Spawn, the anti-hero to save humanity. Pop Tot, this was my choice. What did you think of Spawn?
I was an early adopter to Spawn. I'm looking right now next to my TV, Spawn #1. I jumped to Image. I bought all the #1s Image had in 92 and 93, Wildcats, Youngblood. I was a fan of Lee and Leafield and all of them. Keown's Pitt. I own all those.
Yeah.
So when Spawn came out as a movie, I was so excited. And I'd say I left the theater disappointed initially, years ago. And I've seen it a couple times since then. But watching it yesterday and today, I would say, oh man, CGI just doesn't age well at all.
No,
it doesn't age well at all.
And there's an interesting story behind that too. Is a lot of the CGI with Hell was redone and done last minute, with the special effects artists doing it like 2 weeks before it was released, because some of the special effects aren't too bad.
Go ahead and stack them.
Like some of them, like the suit effects and stuff, aren't terrible. They actually look decent, but the Hell stuff is so bad. It's horrible. It's terrible.
All the different spawns.
Yeah.
It was like Madden 10 or something with the fans in the background.
Madden 10? You mean Madden 24? Yeah. Let me bash EA while I can. Yeah. No. Because they're all doing like the spawns are all doing the same animation over and over. It's so stupid. I think the one thing I truly enjoy about this movie is the casting is very good. I love Michael J. White. I think he was a perfect choice for Al Simmons. I think he honestly could still be Al Simmons if he wanted to.
Damn.
He's got a gigantic martial arts background, and I'm going to just throw it out there. You can disagree or whatever if you're listening, or Pop Tot yourself.
Let's get it over with.
John Leguizamo gives the best performance in a horrible movie ever.
We'll get Wanda back for you. Heck, you can have everyone on the planet. Why settle for leftovers, huh?
He steals every scene he's in.
Did, like, Satan send you guys?
How come God hogs are full of good followers and we get all the retards?
As the Violator. He is incredible. He's funny, he's creepy, he's psychotic.
So, it was you who told Wynn to kill me.
Guilty as charged.
And he's always going. Every scene is like a gif or a meme.
You were at my birthday party.
No, duh. What are you, a regular Einstein? You sure know how to raise him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually trying to figure out if the maggots on the pizza were real.
They are real.
He just shoved that right into his mouth, and I'm like, that. There's no way they could make that into a special effect.
Yeah,
I think he's eating maggots.
Yeah, and the trivia for the movie, that's 100% real, and apparently as soon as the director said cut, he threw up. But that is 100% real. Yeah, there's there where they're in the homeless alleyway or whatever, and he just grabs this thing of pizza, and there's maggots all over it. And I think there's some kind of worm. I don't know if they're specifically maggots, but they look like it. And he just shoves it in his mouth. That is 100% real.
I taste so good I could kick some.
There's a lot I like about this movie in terms of tone. I like that back then, before you got the Marvel polished, everything is CGI, clean look, sterile look. There's a lot of tone. Like this period, you had like The Crow, Blade, the original X-Men movies, there's a few others too. The Rocketeer, they all have their own tone and cinematography and all that. And this movie's very dark and gothic, and I really enjoy it. I like what they did with the suit and all that. It's just, the plot's absolutely terrible. It's so stupid.
It is really dumb.
The Heat 16 is this gas toxin that's supposed to...
Yeah, the bad guy here is Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
With colored, like he has a colored beard. Really bad
so
dyed hair.
Bad.
And he's in for some reason, no matter what scene he's in pleated 90s style pants.
Yeah.
You have the right to remain.
Like an atypical bad guy. He's got an atypical henchwoman for at least half the movie, and she's played by Melinda Clark, who I remember from Nikita, the TV show. She played Amanda. It cracked me up because she confronts him at this ball or whatever, and she's wearing the most ridiculous henchman outfit. It is
so
just
bad,
ridiculous, and she's like,
"Nice outfit, asshole."
You have cones on your breasts.
You have cones on your breasts. You have like metal shoulder
stupid.
Things. You look ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so stupid. And at least in the premise of the comic is that the devil needs cynicism, nihilism, darkness to take over. So they're using this toxin, and it's called Heat 16. And in my mind, I'm just imagining a boardroom. The guy's like, all right, we need a name. Heat 16. No, we need something more creative. I got nothing. All right, well, Heat 16 it is. It's like
engineering a biological weapon is an exact science. You want it done right, you do it my way.
So stupid, and it doesn't really, there's not a whole lot that goes on, and the movie's only 90 minutes long, but it kind of feels like it's 2 hours.
It does. Yeah, it does. He's an assassin for this A6, which is like a CIA ripoff group. And this is where the plot really gets weird. The Violator wants him, but doesn't want him. And then he's trying to get... And there's just a lot of back and forth and confusion here. So he's killed, and he wakes up 5 years later, scarred, and he's got, the body of Spawn. His best friend is now married to his wife, and they have a kid together. Yep. And his best friend is a okay guy. He's not a bad guy. He's played by the wonderful D.B. Sweeney.
Yep.
This is the part that kills me. D.B. Sweeney's character, he decides he's going to release the plot, and he goes into the bad guy's office, and there's literally a disc on it that says covert ops on it.
Yes.
And I'm
so
like,
stupid.
yeah, because that's how they all work. You go into a top secret facility, and you get a disc that actually has a label on it, but somebody actually made with a label maker and said covert ops. But it's goofy. There's just a lot of
stupid.
Heat 16 is ready to go.
Even though John Leguizamo's clown is the best part, the scene stealer, at one minute he's trying to kill Spawn, next minute he's not. He's trying to do this. He's backstabbing both his plot points to help,
while also having his own agenda, because he even makes comments that he's mad that Spawn is leading the army instead of him.
But you on Earth to make sure Spawn keeps his end of the bargain.
Why'd you pick him to lead the army anyway? What are you thinking? It should be me.
And that gets really confusing. And I guess you could say he's playing all sides and being advantageous.
But I don't understand the motorcycle scene.
I don't either.
He's in the clown's in a toxic truck.
Yeah.
Spawn's on a motorcycle trying to get to his former family, which he knows wins after. The clown decides that he's just going to get him riled up by attacking him and shooting at him and dumping toxic waste on him. And Spawn forms the Spawn motorcycle and all this.
For toys.
A lot of practical effects, which is, it's still good. The practical effects were pretty amazing, but...
And then Wanda is a damsel in distress. I honestly don't know if she has any lines in the movie. I can't remember. They do nothing with her character.
Unleashed a whole host of new diseases. 10,000 people died in the first month after the disaster 5 years ago.
And she's just kind of treated as a damsel in distress for Spawn to be stupid over and to keep falling into these traps. That part doesn't work.
Now you've got nothing left to lose. You're a soulless corpse.
It has to be said, you and I both really love Spawn, and I'm sure even the most hardcore Spawn fans can admit this, that Spawn is overly convoluted, which I know is kind of silly saying, but it's so convoluted, it gets very confusing. They're on 323 now or something like that. It's the longest running independent comic book ever, but it's so convoluted. So the movie's trying to adapt the material. Granted, at this point, it'd only been out a couple years, but so it's trying to adapt the material, and it doesn't really do it well.
Your job is to make damn sure the public agrees with me.
You have Calistrio, and he's in and out. And then the movie divulges into like a really bad PS1 game. And then I'm like, okay, well, I get that the studio had 2 or 3 weeks given to the people to make this action scene work. Then just cut it. Use something different. They had puppets. Right. The Violator puppet is, you can see in the movie when they fight the Violator and Spawn, and it looks great. And, the Spawn suit looks a little suity, it looks a little thick, but it's still a suit. It's still a practical effect, and it just doesn't really work.
As a fat little midget, and how did they do that? What an interesting creature this is.
Clearly, that's a running theme because they've been trying to make a reboot for 20 years now, and last I checked, as of 2024, Jamie Foxx and Jeremy Renner are supposed to be in it, but it got Blumhouse's funding, but not really, and then I don't know what's going on with that.
Right. Again, Spawn was it for me, and it wasn't just because of the storyline. It was because Todd McFarlane was my favorite artist at the time. He had just done a 16 episode or issue run of Spider-Man, which I have that #1 on my wall as well. He was well known, and him and a bunch of artists, they left to create Image because they were getting tired of Marvel and DC picking their pockets on things that they had created.
Marvel's top artists came together, quit, and created Image, a co-op that would change comics, period.
It was really good stuff. And then, of course, McFarlane created McFarlane Toys, which, I have a lot of. It's good IP, but it was a bad take.
Heat 16 is ready to go.
I'm torn because this goes along with the grittiness of Batman 89 and The Crow, and that everything's rainy and everything's gritty. And I do enjoy that beautiful pops and whatnot of the MCU, which often lacks that grittiness.
I always looked at McFarlane using Spawn as kind of an FU. It's a black main character, black superhero that basically delves into satanic elements and all that, and you can expunge a lot from that. I'm sure McFarlane's even said something about it. He's a very interesting guy. I will put that in that way. He's a very interesting guy.
I don't look at my artwork and go, oh, aren't I good? Look at me. I'm actually bored of Todd, right? So luckily, I've got a lot of fans that haven't had to live with me as much as I have. So I wake up with me every day.
As usual on Lost and Found, we rate things on Lost. You leave it to the streaming black hole and completely forget about it. Or Found, you find it on a weekend watch and enjoy it. Pop Tot, where are we putting Spawn?
I really think it's got a huge following because of some of the, advances and whatnot. I think that if you've never seen it and you're a comic book fan, go ahead and give it a watch. It might surprise you how dated it feels if you have seen it before, but you haven't seen it for a couple decades.
No, I agree. This is where I'm kind of mixed. I think I would have to lean towards Found, even though the plot's terrible.
S to the P to the A to the 1. S to the P to the A to the 1. Go Spawny. Go Spawny.
The tone's unique, especially for the time period, and especially now, actually. John Leguizamo steals every scene he's in. He's hilarious. He's sporadic. He's scary. He's terrifying. His costume is incredible. The makeup is incredible. The bad guys are so 80s, 90s that it actually becomes kind of funny. And it kind of becomes that B-movie goofiness to it.
You don't quit us, son. We are not the U.S. Postal Service.
If anything, just for John Leguizamo's performance.
Yeah, it's outrageous. It's so...
What do you think you got the pacemaker for, Jerky, huh? You perfect attendance record, you food-sucking dipstick.
Everything is left field. You're just like, wait, what? It's just so out there. I really like the suit. I like the face mask and all that. And I there's parts I really enjoy, even though it's generally kind of stupid. So, but as usual, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting. It always means the world to us. Be sure to comment, leave your suggestions. We could always use them. And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Heat 16 is ready to go.